Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is presented by State Farm. It is a Cubs final regular season game in the state of California this season. Rubber game today. Cubs winning the opener Monday night. The Giants taking game 2 last night. Great to have you with us for Cubs baseball. Jim DeShays and Len Casper. The news of the day: Koji Uehara to the DL. Justin Grimm brought up from AAA Iowa. Well, the Giants are in last place, but they still have Buster Posey, who's one of the best players in the game, and last night he showed why.
Yeah, he ambushed a first pitch fastball last night off of Jose Quintana. That was the big blow in the ballgame. The Giants don't hit many home runs, and Posey, the one big bat in that lineup you have to concern yourself with, and he took advantage of that first pitch fastball. He's a multifaceted player, a good defender. He's not a base clogger. He can run a little bit. You see here, he steals the base. He comes home to score on the single.
Cubs had done a pretty nice job against Posey for much of this season. You see the first 5 games, 2 hits and 16 at-bats, no RBIs. The 2 hits and the big 3-run homer last night. Well, the Cubs got off to that great start out of the All-Star break. It's been a struggle here the last 7 games or so, and Joe was not particularly happy with the sloppy defense last night.
A little sloppy defensively. The bullpen has had their issues. The bullpen ERA is higher than 6 over the last week. You see the numbers. They started the second half winning 14 of the first 17, just 2 out of the last 7. They've kicked it around a little bit. As I mentioned, the bullpen has not been particularly good. That first inning runs allowed issue has reared its ugly head again as well.
Fortunately, the Brewers have lost 3 in a row, so the Cubs still a game and a half up, although the Cardinals and the Pirates are pushing hard. And when we come back, we'll preview the pitching matchup today. Cubs and Giants coming up.
TSN Chicago is brought to you in part by Lexus, who encourages you to experience amazing. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Ford, who invites you to go further in their fuel-efficient vehicles. Check out our entire lineup at your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Menards, save big money at Menards. And Southwest Airlines, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
Getaway day here in San Francisco. The Cubs off tomorrow, and they'll open up a weekend series in Phoenix against the Diamondbacks Friday evening. You see Kyle Hendricks, who will make the start today, his fourth since he was on the disabled list, and he's been really good.
Yeah, 7 solid innings last time out. It was a loss for Kyle, but threw the ball very well. Encouraging sign. Here are the numbers for that start against Washington. 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs allowed a couple of long balls. He's been good against the Giants in his career. Cubs need to win this one today to win their first series here since 2013, and if they don't win it, it'll be their 3rd consecutive series loss. They've got to go through Madison Bumgarner to get it done. He's been very good since coming off the disabled list. His last 3, he's got a .142. He's 8-2 lifetime against the Cubs.
So the Cubs struck first with a win on Monday night, the big inside to Parker by Javier Baez, but it was the Buster Posey show last night. Rubber game coming up, starting lineups, first pitch, and all the action next. And the Giants wrapping up this season series. Cubs have won 4 of the first 6. Kyle Schwarber in the lineup for the first time this series, as the Cubs are facing nothing but left-handed starters. But no Jason Hayward, no Anthony Rizzo today. Anthony turned 28 yesterday. Jason Hayward turns 28 today, and you see their numbers against Madison Bumgarner, so not a huge surprise that they're out of the lineup today. But let's check out the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Ben Zobrist has good numbers against Bumgarner. He's in right for Hayward. Almora has started every game of this series. Bryant, Contreras, Haps. You see Wilson's at first today. Javi Baez at short. Schwarber in left. Alex Avila gets his 3rd start back of the plate. Kyle Hendricks, the pitcher, will bat 9th.
The Gigantos defensively. Parker plays left. Bernard Span is in center field this afternoon. Cub base runners might look to take liberties on his arm. Hunter Pence is in right. The Panda is back. He's playing 3rd base today. Really good up the middle with a couple Gold Glovers and Brandon Crawford and Joe Panik. The rookie Ryder Jones plays 1st base today. Buster Posey solid behind the plate. And Alexa's starting pitcher for the San Francisco Giants. They call him Mad Bum because his name is Madison Bumgarner. He's really good. He's spent a bunch of time on the DL this year due to a motorcycle accident. He's 1-5, but that's primarily because of a lack of run support. He's pitched very well with a 2.88 earned run average. As I mentioned, 8-2 against the Cubs in his career. His last 6 starts against the Cubs, he is 5-0 with a 1.74 earned run average.
Veteran umpire Jim Wolf will work home plate. DJ Rayburn is at first. The crew chief Sam Holbrook at second, and Nick Lentz is over at third. It's kind of a foggy, hazy, overcast day. Cool temperatures throughout the week.
It's a fog city.
And looks like we're going to be shy of a sellout here at AT&T Park. They had a long sellout streak that ended in July. Here's Ben Zobrist to lead it off. He'll bat right-handed against the left-hander Bumgarner. He's 6 for 12 versus Bumgarner in his career.
Ben has really struggled from the right side of the plate this year. He's always been good as a right-handed batter. A big part of it is a wrist injury that he has dealt with or had dealt with for a good chunk of the season. He hasn't had that many at-bats. And his work against left-handed pitching better lately.
If Ben gets a hit, Benny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository as they sponsor the leadoff man on our CSN telecasts. That one is a base hit, so the Greater Chicago Food Depository benefits as Benny's will make a donation. Nice work, Ben Zobrist.
And it's definitely a different look to the lineup with no Rizzo and no Hayward. We got Almora in the 2-hole.
Almora has again started all 3 games here. Third time this season he has batted second, and he bunts foul.
Albert's been good against left-handed pitching this year. You mentioned Zobrist has had success against Bumgarner, so Joe just trying to get these guys and maybe can feed some RBI opportunities to Bryant and Contreras.
We want to welcome all our viewers watching today on Moultrie Communications in Lovington, Illinois. Pop up, caught by the shortstop. Albert's got to run that out. If Crawford lets that ball drop, that's an easy double play.
Yep, you just gotta, don't have to put your head down and go like Usain Bolt, but just make sure you're giving an honest effort and make sure they don't try any chicanery out there on the infield.
Here's Bryant with 1 out. The second baseman Panic plays close to the bag, as most teams tend to overshift to the left against Bryant on the infield. Slightly the other way in the outfield, as you see Span shaded toward right center. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Well, Bumgarner, you mentioned a dirt bike accident in April on an off day in Colorado. And I guess it was near the end of about a 2-hour ride. And the dirt bike slipped on the trail. He was wearing a helmet, but he suffered a shoulder injury and missed nearly 3 months. The Associated Press story back in April, he said, quote, "I'm not exactly sure what happened. It was a surprise to me too. I wish I had some kind of cool story for you, that it was some kind of crazy wreck, but it wasn't anything spectacular, just super unfortunate." And it's the first time he's been on the disabled list.
Yeah, he's been very durable and He's not had any pitching-related injuries. Look at that. Long fluid delivery, comes from a low 3/4 angle, presents problems for both left and right-handed hitters. Likes to run that ball in on the hands of the righties. So the backdoor curveball, kind of a hybrid slider cutter kind of pitch. He's not overpowering in terms of his velocity, but typically works a pretty high strikeout rate and keeps the walks down.
Pulled into left. That's a base hit. 2 on with 1 out for Wilson Contreras.
Big dude, 6'5", 250, long wingspan, and Bryant right on it.
Contreras has had a quiet series after a huge week last week. 1 for 9 with a double and a run. Joe keeps his bat in the lineup even though he's not catching today. He's playing first base with Rizzo out of the lineup. And he pulls one way foul and out of play. The injury to Bumgarner was a left shoulder AC sprain. So he has only made 9 starts this year. This is his 10th. And the Giants have only won 1.
Yeah, run support's been a big issue. They scored 11 runs for him in his 1 win. In his other games, it's been very, very little. Well, he can take solace, right, in the fact that it's not like the Giants are in the hunt and they're lamenting the fact, man, if we'd only had Bumgarner, we would have been right where we need to be. That's obviously not the case. They've had all kinds of things go wrong.
One and 2 on Contreras. Cubs with 2 on, 1 out, first inning. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's his first strikeout. And it'll leave it up to Ian Happ.
The real key for Bumgarner's command of his off-speed pitches. He gets that slider curveball combination going, and then he'll sneak that high fastball by you up in the zone. He's now 28 years of age. Been around a long time. He's got 101 major league wins to his credit, 72 losses, lifetime 298 earned run average.
Happ bounces foul. Look out, Gary Jones. Seeing to back out of the way. .62 degrees as we got started today. Basically the same temperature at game time all 3 days, even though we're playing a matinee today. We were under the lights Monday and Tuesday. 0-2 on Ian Happ.
Happ coming off a nice night. A couple of hits, drove in 2, added a sac fly.
Bumgarner has a sign from Posey. Here is the 0-2. It's high and outside. It's hard to believe he's only 28.
I know.
Feels like he's been around forever.
Came up in 09. Four-time All-Star, World Series, and LCS MVP in 2014. Won a couple Silver Sluggers. At 2.98 ERA, and since he came into the league, third best, trailing only Kershaw and Chris Sale.
There it is. Pulled foul.
Ooh, ball dude.
So Steve Kowalski down there today.
He doesn't have a broken wrist.
His wife Patty is handling the first base side. Yeah, that could have been dangerous. Swing and a miss. As the Cubs strand a couple. I don't know if you have a dog in this race or not, JD. Giants coming up against Kyle Hendricks.
That's cheating.
Woof, woof. At 45 and 70 on the season, last place in the National League West. There's Southwest starting lineup. Denard Span in center. Ryder Jones hit his first career home run the other night off Jake Arrieta. Parker has been hot since coming back from the DL. Posey had the big game-winning home run in the first inning last night. Pablo Sandoval's at third. Hunter Pence in right. Brandon Crawford the shortstop. Joe Panik at second, and Bumgarner can hit. He's got 16 career home runs.
Cubs defensively. Kyle Schwarber plays left. Albert Almora Jr. center. Ben Zobrist in right today. Bryant Baez third shorty and Haps at second. Wilson Contreras gets his first start of the year at first base. And Alex Avila is behind the plate. Our Alexis starting pitcher for the Cubs today, the professor Kyle Hendricks. Alexis, experience amazing. Experience sinker. Experience strike one. 4 up, 4 down for Kyle with a 3.81 ERA. This is his second start against the Giants this year. He beat them back on May 24th. Good outing, 7 innings, allowed just 2 runs.
The 0-1 to Denard Span. Misses 1 ball, 1 strike. 0 for 5 on Mondays. 4 for 35 over his last 8. That doesn't sound right, though. Maybe 18. I wouldn't think he'd have 35 at bats in 8 games.
He's not walking. Hendricks, as Cub fans know, he lives on the edge. Mostly away, but every now and then in.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
That was a fastball, but it looked like a changeup. You see the swing from Span. Just kind of drifting out on that front foot. It's like stay back, stay back, stay back. Wait, it's a fastball. Swing.
Swing and a miss by Jones. Yeah, no, you're right. 8 games, 35 at bats. That makes sense. My math skills way off today. I don't know why that looked weird to me.
Sometimes that happens.
It does happen. Foul back our way. Jones playing first. Brandon Belt is on the concussion DL.
So an opportunity for Jones to get some big league at bats. He hit his first major league home run here the other night off Jake Arrieta. He was the 2013 Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of North Carolina. It's an award Madison Bumgarner also won back in 2007.
When you win that award, do they dump a big bucket of Gatorade over your head?
Yes, and it's got to be powder blue.
Good changeup to strike him out. Back-to-back Ks for Hendricks.
Yep, a good old styrofoam cup from Hendricks.
Here's Parker, the left fielder. 9 hits, including 5 doubles since returning from the DL. That's just in 5 games worth of action. Fastball at 85 for a strike.
Giants have the least productive outfield in Major League Baseball. Left field has been a particular issue for them. Back in spring training, the plan was Parker and Mac Williamson would platoon out there. Williamson got hurt in spring training. So his season started late and he did not hit well at all, so he got demoted to the minor leagues. Parker got hurt. Tried a lot of different options out there. Have a total of 9 home runs from the left field position this year.
How about this? This is their 116th game. Gorkys Hernandez has made the most starts of any left fielder. 25.
Yeah.
They've used 12 different guys.
Justin Ruggiano was here for a while.
He held, according to Nick Lentz.
That would have been fun because he would have had strikeouts for the cycle. Got Span on the fastball, Jones on the changeup, and Parker apparently able to hold up on the breaking pitch.
Served into center. Easy play, Almora. Giants go 1-2-3, 0-0 after an inning. Chicago is presented by State Farm. Javier Baez, the shortstop. 2 for 8 in the series, including the go-ahead inside the park 2-run homer Monday. He's hit in 7 straight, 1 off his career best hitting streak. And the 0-1 fouled back, and that gives me the opportunity to mention his 2-strike batting average. The major league average with 2 strikes, what would you guess?
212.
176. Baez at 209. That's second best on the ball club. Chris Bryant hits 221. Buster Posey leads all of baseball as Jones makes the catch and foul ground. Posey with 2 strikes. Hitting 293. Now Kyle Schwarber, who has not hit well with 2 strikes. But maybe he won't get to 2 strikes.
Yeah, you know, one of those things. Hey, we need to get you a start because we're facing all these left-handed pitchers, and I don't know if Bumgarner's the guy you would choose if you got to pick. But I think the key here is his off-field power. Same with Avila. I think Joe likes the idea of them staying on the ball, trying to ride the ball the other way.
Fouled back.
It's actually a good way to enforce good habits for a left-handed hitter. Guys that fall into the trap of starting to pull off the ball, you put them out there against a tough lefty where you really have to concentrate on front shoulder stays in, look to do some damage, you know, to the other way, or think alley to alley.
The 0-2 is low, and you know, the other value too, which we often talk about, is just give Bumgarner a different look, right?
Yes, you don't want to just run all right-handed hitters up there against them. Righties, in terms of batting average, have actually struggled. 219 batting average for right-handed hitters against Bumgarner, but there's more power there. He gets a few more home runs from the right side. Similarly, the Giants with a lot of left-handed bats in there against Kyle Hendricks, and I think that plays to his strength.
2-2, and he got him for strikeout number 3.
One fortunate fan will win a player grade 2016 World Series ring donated by Jostens. Proceeds benefiting Cubs charities. Now through September 4th, Cub fans can purchase raffle tickets for $10 each. Tickets can be purchased online and at official raffle locations around Chicago. Visit Cubs.com/ring-raffle.
Hey, it's Grandma Dolores' 86th birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Grandma.
We don't have a last name, but Brian asked us to wish her a happy birthday. 1 strike on Alex Avila.
Hey there, Dolores. What's it like to be 96? Hope you're having
86.
a good day. 86. I'm sorry, Dolores. My goodness.
That is a strike. Alex on Saturday hit a 2-run homer, his first as a Chicago Cub. Had a nice chat with him the other day and said, I'm really lucky, been able to wear the iconic Old English D and now the Cubs C. Ouch.
So
Not so lucky there.
Yeah, well, so far this Schwarber Avila from the left side against Bumgarner is now working out. Schwarb's punched out. Avila's down 2 strikes and in pain. But it was a long day. Plenty of opportunities to be had.
Actually, the CWS of the White Sox too. So think about the 3 teams he's been on. Teams with long major league histories: the Tigers, the White Sox, the Cubs.
Which is cool, but there's a downside too. It's hard to be among the franchise leaders in anything when you play on teams that have been around this long.
Good point. Outside, it's 1-2 on him. Bumgarner from Hudson, North Carolina. And his His pitch is hit on a couple of bounces to a backhanding Crawford, who will throw and get him. He's retired 5 in a row since the Bryant single. A second inning. StatCast is powered by AWS. JD is going to tell you everything you need to know about spin rate.
Well, that was a 79-mile-an-hour changeup. That was a changeup there, that little cut change piece. Spin rate, I don't think is very important when it comes to changeups. The four-seam fastballs and breaking pitch, teams might pay attention to spin rate a little bit. It's probably more of a scouting tool, or maybe an indication of a guy starting to fatigue a little bit. If you see the spin rate on the fastball maybe go down, maybe the pitches, and talk about pitches finishing with life in the zone.
See, I thought it was the rate of your ability to make every pitch sound great. The spin rate.
Yeah, that's in the post-game locker room conversation. Yeah, I had really good stuff today. Just, you know, a couple of plays didn't get made behind me. And
Buster Posey, 1 ball, no strikes.
Just happy to be here. Want to help the ball club.
Monday night, Buster played in his 1,000th major league game.
I had a little Mel Cooley working.
Ground ball, and it is Happ to make the play.
Celebrate the return of the school year this Monday, August 14th, and Tuesday the 15th. The Cubs are offering specially priced tickets to teachers, students, and academic professionals and their family members and friends to watch the Cubs host the Cincinnati Reds. Included with your game ticket, participants will receive a commemorative fidget spinner. For tickets, visit Cubs.com/community nights.
We have a couple of those, and we will be demoing the fidget spinner on Friday. You actually have one right now.
Yep.
One strike on Sandoval. Off the glove of Bryant and in the left. Third hit of the series. He's 3 for 6.
Well, this changeup stays up in the zone. And if it's anywhere near the zone, Sandoval is likely to put wood on it.
Now Pence playing right, batting 6th. He hit 3rd last night.
Puts it on the ground a lot. Gets a lot of rollover ground balls to the left side. Potential double play situation here for Hendricks.
Called strike. Starters have done nice work here in the second half. Rotation 13-4 with a 3.15.
15 quality starts of the 23 ball games.
As we mentioned in the open, Joe Madden not real happy with the way the team played defensively last night. Run prevention's about pitching and defense, all of it together.
Yeah, it's interesting because Joe normally doesn't, call guys out, and he didn't speak of anybody individually, but physical errors usually doesn't have much to say about it. It's usually sloppy plays, bad decisions, throwing to the wrong base, bad base running decisions, those kinds of things. A couple physical errors in the ball game, or one error, one misplay that impacted the game. Let the Giants score a couple of runs.
What was that last pitch, Jim Wolf? I got strike.
Yeah.
Line drive the other way. Zobrist makes the catch. Sandoval back to first. So all of Major League Baseball unveiling the Players Weekend jerseys, and this is what the Cubs will wear. I believe it's the weekend we're in Philadelphia, so you can wear nicknames on the back, and I believe there's a sleeve patch where you can write something about a mentor, someone helped you in your big league career,
parent or coach or something, pay tribute to somebody that helped you get to the big leagues, helped you along the way.
You have a favorite on that?
I don't. I like the concept. I like the look. It's going to be fun. They're going to wear them all weekend long. And then the ones that are actually game worn will be signed and auctioned off for charity.
Right in the middle there, the Phillies. I like that look, and it will be Cubs and Phillies for Players Weekend. Two 2-0 on Brandon Crawford. Did you know Brandon Crawford's brother-in-law is Garrett Cole?
That does ring a bell.
Cole is married to Crawford's sister. 3 for 8 in the series. Curve at 72 for strike 1.
Threw out a 7 in his career against Kyle. There's the backdoor curveball settling into the zone at the knees. And this is a master craftsman out there. So much so that he's got Crawford up there trying to bunt with 2 outs and a man on first base. It's one way to make sure you don't get caught out in front is to bunt.
Man on, 2 down, nothing, bottom 2. The pitch. Full count. Sandoval will be on the move here. And Contreras now will play behind him. Hendricks comes set, the pitch. Ground ball, base hit. Sandoval will head to third.
Good work by Crawford. Again, this pitch elevated a little bit. He gets on top of it, hits it sharply on the ground through the middle. Sandoval, who was moving on the 3-2 pitch, able to rumble into third.
I have a potentially strange question for you. There's panic.
As long as it doesn't involve Crawford's hair, I'm good.
It does not. It's a baseball question. What's the most frustrating type of hit for a pitcher to give up? Is it the 99 hopper that gets through the infield? Is it the bloop ball that drops with the 3 guys in the area?
That one, yeah.
Where you jam a guy?
Yeah, you get a little lazy pop-up, and as you watch it, you can kind of watch that play develop. And you're kind of hoping that somebody's going to be able to run under it, and if 3 guys get close but nobody can make the play, that's very frustrating.
Now, you didn't really have to deal with this that much, but my guess would be these days, if you surveyed most pitchers, they would probably say the most frustrating hit is the ground ball at a position that is unoccupied because of the shift.
Yes.
Right? Like, oh, there's a ground ball to short. Oh, wait, that's a base hit.
Yeah, and in even pre-shift days, if you made a pitch that you executed the pitch you were trying to make, got the result you were hoping for, and nobody was there to make the play, because a lot of times, as a left-handed pitcher, I used to throw a lot of change-ups, and they would pull the shortstop towards the hole, thinking the guy might be out in front. But for me, I always felt like, I wanted him to stay true to his position, maybe even cheat up the middle, because if a right-handed hitter was doing his job on that changeup, he was more likely to go up the middle.
Right. There's a base hit, and the Giants have the lead. Back-to-back 2-out singles. Crawford and Panic. Near the bottom of the order, get it done.
And you're not out of the soup yet, because Bumgarner is coming up there, and we mentioned what a good hitter he is. So you don't get that soft landing against the Giants when Bumgarner's the starting pitcher.
Yeah, the good news for Kyle today is that Daniel Murphy doesn't play for the Giants. But potentially the bad news is he's got to deal with Bumgarner. Not a typical 9-hitter. And both those home runs came in the season opener in Arizona. And he takes ball 1. First pitcher ever to homer twice on opening day. He retired the first 16 batters he faced that afternoon, but got a no decision as the Giants blew a 9th inning lead. That seemed to be an omen for their season.
Yeah, that was Mark Melancon's debut as a Giant, and let that one slip away. Bumgarner struck out 11 on that day. Yeah, things are looking good for a long time. The whole key here is just don't get lazy. Continue to execute pitches.
The 1-1 swing and a miss. Bumgarner supporting your theory of left-handed pitcher, right-handed batter means you have to be a good athlete.
It's the Hampton rule. Changeup literally brought him to his knees.
Referring to Mike Hampton. Swing and a miss. So he strikes out Bumgarner, but the Giants lead 1-0. for our T-Mobile Unlimited baseball break. Cubs have not fared well against the National League West on the road this year. They had an 0-6 trip to Southern California at the end of May. Maybe they can change their luck starting today. One nothing Giants. Well, you saw Kyle as we went to break kind of talking to himself. He clearly was unhappy with the way that bottom of the second unfolded. You know, if baseball stays true to form today, he's going to hit a homer and Bumgarner won't. Revisiting the 2014 postseason for Madison Bumgarner, maybe the greatest postseason pitching performance ever. How about in one playoff year he threw almost 53 innings? 2 down. It's just hard. It's hard to fathom that. And as you mentioned, he was the NLCS and World Series MVP.
Yeah, and I think that's why there wasn't a lot of gnashing of teeth out here, at least in terms of what the Giants said publicly after Bumgarner got hurt. I mean, you could see where they would really be up in arms. This guy out there,
he's got
on a motorcycle on an off day.
That is deep, and it is gone. Albert Almora Jr. has tied the ball game.
Well, he has proven to be very good against left-handed pitching, and he delivers here against Bumgarner. Fastball up above the knees, right over the heart of the plate. Got out of here quickly in a mad scramble for it. I think a Cub fan came down with that baseball.
Ford home run replay. 5th homer for Almora. We're tied at 1. And here's Bryant. Pence makes the catch. Almora with a 2-out homer. It's a 1-1 tie in the 3rd. With Blue Man Group, this spectacular collision of comedy, theater, rock concert, and dance party all rolled into one. Catch our boys in blue at the Briar Street Theater. Call 800-BLUE-MAN or visit blueman.com. One tie. Bernard Span. Takes ball one. He struck out in the first. And Hendricks' pitch, swing and a miss on a change. Rockies beat the Indians 3-2 in 12 today. Rangers over the Mets 5-1. We'll have details on those games a little later. Cubs' next opponent, the Arizona Diamondbacks. They beat the Dodgers last night. Jake Lamb hit 2 home runs, including a grand slam.
Diamondbacks have not yet announced their starters for the upcoming series with the Cubs, and Robbie Ray's been dealing with that concussion.
Yeah, I think they're waiting on his status. Greinke tonight, I believe, right? So the Cubs will not face him.
We'll see Corbin again, and maybe Godley, who was really good at Wrigley.
Alex Wood, Zach Greinke tonight. That's a good one on paper. Or your tablet. Ball 4. That's a leadoff walk for Span.
Sit ringside with Joe Madden and Cub players at the 3rd annual Respect 90 main event. Takes place Thursday, August 17th at the Grand Banking Hall at the Wintrust Building. Several rounds of local youth boxing and an opportunity to win premium prizes. A portion of the net proceeds will benefit youth boxing programs in Chicago's underserved communities. Cubs.com/Madden for details.
The man on, nobody out. Ryder Jones takes outside. Well, ballpark filling in nicely. Don't know if we'll be at capacity today, but a bit of a late arriving crowd with the early start. There goes Span, swing and a miss. Here's Avila's throw, safe on a close play. For 6 for Span.
A pretty good pitch. It was a changeup. Avila got off a pretty good throw, and the quick tag by Baez made it closer at second base than I thought it was going to be. It's almost always the case. Quick hands of Baez, but
no challenge coming from the Cubs dugout. Meantime, a ball and a strike on Jones. Here's a pitch on a bounce. Zobrist will make the play, so he pulled that ball to the right side, but Span could not advance. I think I said Zobrist. Happ making the play. 1 down.
It was Zobrist-like. That was a tricky play, a sinking line drive, and Happ got caught in between a little bit, whether trying to snare it in the air or play it on a hop. Ultimately able to pick it on the short hop, and that's why Span couldn't advance. He could not afford to gamble in case that line drive was caught in the air.
Parker now flied to center his first time up. The kick and the pitch outside for ball 1. Well, we revisited Madison Bumgarner's great postseason in 2014. How about Kyle Hendricks' 2016 regular season? He led the majors in ERA, 2.13. Including a 132 at Wrigley Field. And then he came up big in the playoffs. pennant clincher against Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, not phased at all by the bright lights of the postseason for a guy who's still relatively inexperienced. His ERA since 2015, 3.15. That's the 10th best in Major League Baseball.
Balls, 2 strikes on Parker. Got the Parker-Posey 3-4 combo today. The pitch. Couldn't get him to go after the curve.
Pitch cast there, away. Combination of sinkers, changeups, and then the curveball. And Kyle at his best when he also works that 2-seam fastball in on the left-handed hitters. That one that starts at them and runs back towards the inside corner. That's when Mike Borzello and all the work he does in advance of these games is so important, because he'll let them know, yeah, you need to make sure you do your work inside. Other guys will say, you know what, just stay away.
Second walk of the inning. Now he's got to deal with Posey with 2 men on. So yeah, you talked about Madison Bumgarner's equity. How about Kyle Hendricks? Part of the World Series champion team. He won the ERA title last year. Won the pennant clincher as the Cubs got back to the World Series first time since 1945. And then he started Game 7 of the World Series in Cleveland. Doesn't get much better than his 2016, does it?
A lot of confidence Joe Maddon had in him. And I mean, folks may argue not enough confidence. A lot of people felt like Joe made a quick move to the bullpen, but I can just flat out pitch. I think sometimes what happens when a pitcher does not throw 94 miles an hour, and Hendricks this year has been 84, 85 for the most part with his fastball velocity. So everybody's waiting for the whole program to kind of implode. Like, you can't sustain it, you can't continue to pitch at such a high level without velocity, and he has proven that that is not the case.
I'm sure that the margin for error is less for a guy like Kyle and his stuff, but with all the power pitchers today, I kind of feel like mid-80s is a place to be, right? As opposed to 90, 91.
Yeah, and it just depends on what you do with it. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I'm sure he would love to throw 93 miles an hour. He can't, so what do you do? Well, he has the ability. I mean, he wouldn't be here if he wasn't such a smart pitcher and have the skill set that allowed him to work the corners as well as he does, to exploit hitters' weaknesses.
Pitcher and catcher will try to get it together. Two and one on Posey. Here it is, fouled back.
Last year, Kyle average fastball velocity was right around 88. It was a little bit higher than that the year before, and I think what he found was When he throws a little bit harder, the ball flattens out on him, doesn't get the good sink. So he's learned how to dial it back to create movement.
See if Bruce Bochy has the runners in motion. 3-2, 1 out. Span at second, Parker at first, and they are moving, and that ball is lifted in the air. Both runners will retreat as Almora makes the catch, 2 outs. Big out to get Posey.
Out in front of an off-speed pitch. He fought hard to try to stay in the zone out on that front foot. But ultimately off the end of the bat for the lazy fly ball.
I told you the story of Sandoval's journey back to San Francisco on Monday night. Did not work out for him in Boston. Even though he got paid. His performance struggled, and he wasn't all that healthy either, especially the last couple of years, including 2 DL stints this season. Swing and a miss. We got a 5-year, $95 million free agent deal. And after he signed with Boston, it was following the 2014 World Series. He did not have very nice things to say about the Giants. Swing and a miss, 0-2. One of the things was he didn't seem to be too happy that the Giants didn't really go out of their way to try to keep him. And he said the only 2 people in the clubhouse he would miss were Bruce Bochy and Hunter Pence. That's it. One and 2.
So if you're one of the guys that you wouldn't miss when he returned, I think the first thing you would say to him is, well, did you miss me?
And he should say, well, no, didn't you read the quote?
I told you I wouldn't.
Now, Pablo should have said, well, I knew I'd be back. We needed a couple of years apart. He was very thankful when the Giants did re-sign him to a minor league deal. I guess all's well that ends well. He's what, only 30 years old.
Yeah. When he came back, he probably said, it wasn't you, it was me.
Hendricks working hard here in the 3rd inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
See how wide and low he went with that one, and that's got to be the game plan against Sandoval. He reaches a lot of pitches.
Three and 2.
So 2 thoughts here if you're Hendricks. Change up again, only a little closer to the plate, which by comparison from the last 2 would look a little enticing, or he might try that fastball in on the hands.
This will be his 28th pitch of this 3rd inning. look at Avila. He's got the sign he wants. Runners go. Fly ball left field. Schwarber camped under it. 2 walks, but he does not give up a run, and we're tied at 1.
Tuesday, August 15th, the Cubs play the Reds. First pitch is at 7:05. And up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans will receive a Bryant MVP starting lineup player figure. Pictured there. Presented by TransUnion. For more information, visit Cubs.com.
Wilson Contreras tried to bunt, and the ball came back up and hit him. That's a foul ball. 1-1 4th inning.
Sandoval looking into the Giant dugout for some instructions. Should he respect the ability and the willingness of Contreras to bunt? Would he do it again with 1 strike? And now as Bumgarner sets, he backs off.
An appearance by the sun poking through the heavy cloud cover today. One and two. The Rangers 5-1 win over the Mets featured Joey Gallo's 32nd home run.
He hits him far. He is a beast.
Adrian Beltre had a couple of hits. He's got 3,008. Passed Al Kaline for 29th place on the all-time list. He's run it full.
Spray chart you're seeing there on the pitches from Bumgarner, fairly typical with him. In, out, up and down. Gives you a lot to think about.
That is a leadoff walk. His first free pass.
He has struck out 4. He struck out 7 in his last start against the Diamondbacks. Got a lot of swings and misses at that slider or cutter, however you want to describe it. The harder of the 2 breaking pitches.
Happ fouls. Bumgarner will throw over to first. I wouldn't say the Giants have gone overboard in terms of retired numbers here in San Francisco, but based on the resume of Madison Bumgarner and all the postseason success, you could see number 40 being retired at some point down the road. But he's got a long way to go, as we mentioned, just 28 years old.
Mays, Marichal, McCovey, Gaylord Perry. Melott probably up there.
I believe so.
Who is 20?
Monty Irvin.
Monty Irvin.
That was a recent number retirement. Bill Terry, number 3. Melott, number 4. Carl Hubble, number 11. Irvin, Mays, Marichal, Cepeda.
Cepeda, the baby bull.
Ian Happ in the air to left, and it will be caught by Parker. Perry 36, McCovey 44. There's Willie. I mean, Barry Bonds, right? That'll be, I would think, retired number 25 at some point in the near future. Baez pops it up, and on the move is Pence. It is in foul territory, not by much. Throw back to first. Contreras is in safely. Baez didn't get out of the box. And that ball, I do believe, ended up foul, but not by a whole lot. Did he not see where it went?
He's looking straight away center field. I think he thought it was fouled back out of play. But at some point, when you find it, you got to start down the line. Second or third time that has happened here today.
Nice play by Pence as he had to worry about the bullpen mound. 2 outs. Contreras still at first. Now Schwarber. Not a huge lead by Wilson. Breaking ball, strike called on Schwarber. How about this? The Giants today are ending a stretch of 33 days, 34 days in California. They're going to fly to Washington as they open up a series on Friday against the Nationals. And the pitch. Popped him up on the infield. Jones, easy play. And Bumgarner works around the leadoff walk. Bottom 4 In the rubber game, it's 1-1.
Hey, welcome back, folks. Saturday, the Rocket League craze hit CSN with the Universal Open Rocket League Midwest Regional. The video game best described as soccer with super-powered cars. Watch local players face off for a chance at the finals in LA. Live streaming begins at 11:30 a.m. on the NBC Sports app, and you can watch the championship game live here on CSN at 3. There are many statements, phrases in that read that I thought I would never utter ever in my life.
Well, now you have.
It's a video game described as soccer with super-powered cars.
Yeah. And that great shot of the Golden Gate Bridge. Have you walked or
I have traversed the bridge, yep.
The bridge?
I think I've done both over the years.
Pretty incredible. The views here in the Bay Area. 0-2. Pence just pokes that ball the other way into right.
We talked about Sandoval and his ability to get to pitches all over the place. Same can be said for Hunter Pence. Seen a whole bunch of this out of Pence over the years. You think you got him fooled, he's out on that front foot, but he's long and he's strong and he's able to reach the ball, and with a flick of the wrist hit it pretty hard into right field.
Now Crawford is a Bay Area native. His father had season tickets for the Giants at Candlestick. Low for ball 1.
Yeah, there's a picture of Crawford and Mike Krukow from years ago when Crawford was just a little guy. He got Kruk's autograph and Mike signed it, hey, to a future Giant.
Well, he's a good scout.
Yeah, prescient.
Although I'm guessing there are about 765 kids in the Bay Area who have the same exact autograph from. Always good to see Mike. And with Dave Fleming, Blaine Kuiper, John Miller. Love those guys.
Well, Pence used to run a bit. This year he has not, just 2 stolen bases and 4 tries. But with Hendricks' ground ball tendencies, maybe thinking about a little run and hit.
You kind of get the feeling one day Pence is just going to walk up to the plate with a sock suit on, just no baseball pants. Pants keep getting shorter and shorter.
Got his knickers on.
3-0 on Crawford.
He has an old school look, and he's got an old school approach to the game. Obviously, they've got some concerns about Pence. They keep throwing over, but now the focus has to be on trying to get back into this count with Crawford. And
he walked him.
Yeah, and you know, normally when Kyle walks somebody, it's, you know, he just misses, and you can understand maybe he's trying to get a chase. But when he starts misfiring 2-0, 3-0, when he's just trying to find the zone, that's very atypical, and no doubt has got some level of concern down there in the Cub dugout. It looks like Lester Strode heading down towards the pen. Maybe they're going to start to warm somebody up.
So bottom of the order here. Panic knocked in the Giants' run in the second, and then again Bumgarner is right behind him on deck. Here's a pitch. It's outside for ball one. It's like Mike Montgomery is cranking it up.
And Kyle walked 2 in his last start against the Nationals. His previous 2 starts, that would be his first 2 since coming off the disabled list. He did not walk a man in either one of those games.
Chris Bosio to the mound. Talk a little strategy and give Montgomery some time.
Yeah, this is, you know, it's got a chance to win this series. You're up against Madison Bumgarner, so you can't afford to let the Giants get too much done here through the middle innings. And no such thing as a must-win game in August, but I think Joe's identified, well, he kind of does this every year. As you roll into August, his managing philosophy starts to change a little bit. Quicker moves to the bullpen. Especially now in this dogfight in the NL Central.
1-0 pitch to Panic. Swung on and hit in the air. Kyle Schwarber will make the catch. Pence tags, but he's going to stay where he is as the ball got away from Chris Bryant. So that's 1 out, and here comes Bumgarner.
Schwarber got a lot on that throw and actually handcuffed Bryant, but Pence was not going to advance on that one. Schwarber's got a good arm out there. A little bit flat-footed as he catches it.
That's the kind of throw that doesn't have to be very good. You got to show it. So that runner at second will not even try it. Bumgarner has looked rather off balance against Hendricks at the plate. The 0-1.
Like walking down a flight of stairs and you think there's one more step there, and there is not.
Yeah. I do that all the time. And he got him. Good morning, good afternoon, good night.
Yeah, and good recognition there of not trying to overthink the situation. Well, geez, taking bad swings at a couple of changeups. Maybe he's going to be looking for it, and we should try to beat him with a fastball. They just realize that he's not seeing that ball well, can't read the changeup, and is in swing mode. So why not just keep throwing it?
Not out of the woods yet. Got to get Span. How in the world did he come up with this batting stance? Watch
funky, isn't it?
The placement of his feet when he gets ready to hit. Watch that front foot. Yeah, that looks fine. What? Huh? One strike.
Yeah, and I'm guessing at some point along the way he was having a hard time keeping that front side closed, was pulling off the ball a lot, so this was something he did to reinforce staying square as long as possible, staying closed up. As you watch, just as the pitch is on its way, he'll kind of pivot and get into a more traditional stance. Or he looked around the landscape of major league hitters and said, you know what, nobody's doing this.
Right.
This is going to be my signature move.
Yeah. Looked at the marketplace and decided
Saw an
that's
opening.
Where the opening was. Yeah. One and two. Pence single to start the inning. Crawford walked. Hendricks then got panic on a fly to left. He struck out Bumgarner, and it's 1-2 on Denard Span. Montgomery continues to throw. 1-1 tie, fourth inning. Good knockdown by Avila.
Yeah, this is if he doesn't get Span, in all likelihood we're going to see Montgomery here. He's heated up, ready to go. Jones, powerful left-handed hitter next.
The 2-2 pitch fouled off.
Like a four-seamer. Changing the look a little bit. Four-seam fastball up at 86 miles an hour after a lot of soft stuff. Yeah, had some run. Kyle wants to restart. It'll take a while for Avila to settle in and get to know all these guys.
The count is full with 2 outs.
Span took a changeup last time up to work the walk. Took it like he, was looking for it, and that's the way he reacted to that last one there too.
Go time on the bases. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Hendricks escapes. And we remain tied at 1 after 4. Cubs checking and an official Cubs MasterCard debit card, only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. Member FDIC. Great to have you with us from San Francisco. It is a San Francisco treat.
Rice-A-Roni.
1-1 tie.
It was a local Armenian fellow, D. Delmonico, I believe was his name. And it was one of their favorite dishes at home. Rice, pasta, kind of vermicelli, chicken broth dish. And he introduced it to a local grocery store, and hence Rice-A-Roni was born.
There you go.
That's why it's a San Francisco treat.
You'd think I just set you up to tell that story, but little did you know, as Avila taps one on the ground to Bumgarner, easy play.
No, I just got thinking about that the other day, as I imagine a lot of folks do when they come to San Francisco. People of a certain age, they still play that jingle. Is that still out there, the Rice-A-Roni thing? But I got thinking about it the other day. Why is Rice-A-Roni the San Francisco treat? And looked it up, and that's the story.
Hendricks batting. And a big swing and a miss.
Yeah, the punch out of Span bought him one more inning probably. Cubs bullpen's been a little shaky here of late. ERA in the 6s over the last week. 4-something in the second half.
He got him looking.
Zach Brown Band returns to Wrigley Field for their third performance. It comes your way Saturday, August 26th. The band stop at the Friendly Confines as part of their Welcome Home Tour and will feature special guest Hunter Hayes. Tickets are on sale now at Cubs.com/Zach Brown Band. Hector Rondon has been battling a little bit of a stiff back. So he wasn't available the last couple of nights. Presumably good to go here today.
One-0 to Zobrist. Taken for a strike, 1-1. I see Ben and a few guys wearing the sunglasses, even though not a sunny day. There's a pretty bright sky.
It's a baseball white sky.
Two and one. Always like coming here. Great vibe. And even though the Giants having a very disappointing season, still a great atmosphere here at AT&T Park. We've often said if there's another park in baseball that somewhat replicates the vibe of Wrigley Field, it's this one.
They've had a lot of success since they moved into this ballpark. And yeah, there's typically great energy here. They continue to draw well despite the off year. They're third in baseball in average home attendance, just ahead of the Cubs.
Yeah, they did it right. Zobrist on the ground toward the hole. Diving stop. The Panda. He got it from his knees. What a play by Pablo Sandoval.
As soon as that play was completed, Davey Martinez went streaking down to talk to the boys in the video room.
Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Nope, Joe is not going to challenge, so you can Start up the band. 1-1.
Thank you, Kelly. Bottom half of the fifth. Ryder Jones to lead it off here. Kyle Hendricks has pitched in and out of trouble, but allowed just one run so far this afternoon. He's walked 3, given up 4 knocks.
1-0 on Jones is popped up. Not much foul ground here as that one is beyond the backstop.
Mike Montgomery back up, ready in the bullpen. So maybe Joe Maddon just going to go batter by batter here with Hendricks.
Kyle's delivery and took a little cut fastball that time. 2-1.
A double up in there. To great effect.
Desired result for sure.
Yeah, if you're a hitter, you'd rather swing and miss than do that. Because the swing and miss is full of potential. You could say, man, if I caught that one, I would have hit it 400 feet. You hit it with your thumbs back to the pitcher, that's humiliating. That's good work, because he has been, you know, and he does do a lot of good work away, but he's been mostly away and a lot of soft stuff today, and I think doubling up in there was very effective.
Parker takes ball 1.
Especially as you go through the batting order for the 3rd time. You change the look by the type of pitches you throw, but you can also do it just with location. Staying away, start to work in a little bit. Parker drew a walk last time. That was in the 3rd inning, and he's a guy that throughout his minor league career has shown good patience.
Two and 1 on Jarrett Parker. Posey on deck. Bouncer to the shortstop. Baez gets him.
The Cubs are introducing game-changing new premier experiences at Wrigley Field, each featuring prime views and access to an exclusive club and first-class amenities. These new premier experiences will allow fans to enjoy Cubs baseball and America's most majestic ballpark in a whole new way. Visit CubsPremier.com to join the Premier Client Priority list.
Two outs, nobody on. And the pitch to Buster Posey's taken for a strike. Charlie Blackmon with the game-winning home run in the 12th for the Rockies. 3-2 over the Indians. Rockies tied that game in the 9th. And a Jonathan Lucroy double. Ground ball. Bryant can't get it. Baez just only able to knock it down. That'll be an infield hit for Posey.
Well, when he first hit it, I thought that's going to be a ground out.
That's it for Hendricks. Sandoval, the scheduled hitter. Joel wants a left-hander, Montgomery. Two outs, a man on, and a 1-1 tie in the 5th. So Weber's sauces and seasonings call to the pen. Call grilling flavor up to the bigs. Mike Montgomery has done a little bit of everything this year. And right now he is working in a 1-1 tie.
And probably the most important thing he does now is turn Sandoval around to his weaker side. Sandoval's switch hitter has always been better as a left-handed batter. Pitch count was starting to climb on Kyle Hendricks. He was making his 4th start since coming off the disabled list, so no need to push. He was not at his sharpest, but we've seen a lot from Kyle where even when he's not at his best, he remains competitive.
Sandoval's had a nice day, 1 for 2 with a run. And that terrific defensive play to get Zobrist.
And the other benefit of bringing the lefty in, you maybe shut down the running game a little bit. Not that Posey's a big-time base stealer, but he got one last night, and he's capable.
Contreras in foul territory, circling, and he's got it. We'll have to check on the route efficiency. But he got it done. You know why he did that? He didn't have a mask to discard.
Yeah.
He got all messed up. 1-1. Big time moment is powered by Xfinity. Albert Almora Jr. the game tying home run in the third inning. Cub fan ended up with a ball, it appeared too.
Big swing of the bat, and 2-3-4 to face Bumgarner for the third time. First pitch changeup from the big lefty
for a strike. Yeah.
Don't use that pitch all that often, but again, as you get further into the ball game, you got to change the look.
A scalded foul, and Almora cracked his bat in the process.
Day off tomorrow, then a weekend set with the Diamondbacks. They are 37-18, the Snakes are, in their home ballpark.
Base hit. Well, he's right on him today. Bryant with a man on and nobody out. Indians put Michael Brantley on the DL. It's a right ankle issue. Carlos Stanton's pretty hot, huh?
Oh my goodness.
38 home runs.
Marlin team, I thought they would be a little more competitive this year.
Bryant hits it in the air. Right center field. Span and Pence come together. It'll be Span to make the catch. Almora will stay at first. Visit the Cubs Authentics auction page every week for your chance to own one-of-a-kind Cubs items. This week's auction features a variety of game-used items, including a Wilson Contreras jersey. Go to Cubs.com/authentics before this Sunday, August 20th at 8 p.m. to place your bid. The Cubs will donate net proceeds from the sale of Cubs Authentics items to Cubs charities. There are currently 3 National League players with at least 30 home runs. Go.
Stanton.
Yes.
Bellinger.
Yes.
Votto.
Oh, you nailed it. I thought I might stump you on Votto.
Well, yeah, I know he's been hot lately, and he's having a big year. That's why I said Votto.
Bruce and Harper both have 29. Who's going into play today? Nolan Arenado. 98 RBIs. Let's see if he knocked in any today. Tapped foul by Contreras. Arenado went 2 for 6 but did not drive in a run. Justin Turner at the moment running away with a batting title, hitting .351. Daniel Murphy is second at .332. Driven to right. Pence is back on the warning track. He's got it. Contreras gave it a ride, but a long out. 2 gone.
Yeah, pretty good swing there by Wilson. He doubled over Pence's head last night. A little more towards the straightaway right field than into the alley, and this one had a little more air under it too. Gave Pence time to run under it.
Here's Happ with Almora still at first, 2 outs. 5 American leaguers have 30 or more home runs. I have a feeling you're going to struggle with.
Yeah, that one's tougher.
Picked up by Sandoval. Judge, Moustakas, Gallo, Smoke, Chris Davis. Chris with a K.
I would have got Judge.
1-1. You can follow Patrick Mooney down the winding path. He's our Cubs insider at CSNChicago.com, presented by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvuk.com or follow him on social media. Nationwide is on your side. The famous Lombard Street. Sellout today, 41,099. Bottom 6, 1-1. Hunter Pence against Mike Montgomery. Ball one.
Twice to right field for Pence today. A line out and a single.
Three and 0. Hendricks today 4 2/3, 5 hits, 1 run. He walked 3, struck out 5, 96 pitches. That's a lot more than we're used to seeing from Kyle.
Yeah.
He's normally much more efficient.
The Giant hitters did a pretty good job working some deeper counts. I think the fastball command for Kyle was not there, and maybe affected a little bit working with Avila for the first time. But he hung in there. He only allowed the 1 run. Montgomery, Joe loves to use Montgomery in this way, coming in behind a right-handed pitcher against a left-handed heavy lineup.
Two reaches for Crawford, single and a walk. Giants got their run in the second. 3 singles. Panic had the RBI. Cubs got theirs on an Albert Almora home run in the third.
Cubs have stranded 4, the Giants 7 here so far this afternoon.
That is a total of 11 stranded.
4 and 7.
See, my math is
it's improving
back
as the day goes along.
Well, Montgomery walking Pence. He's now 2-0 on Crawford. That's halfway to another walk. Popped up. It's the shortstop Baez on the grass for out number 1.
Follow Cubs baseball live with MLB.com @bat mobile app. Stay connected to the game's best players all season long with game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com @bat today. It's your #1 app for live baseball.
Joe Panic watches Mike Montgomery fire to first. It's Corey Guerin, a right-hander. Bumgarner on deck. Ball foul to right. I mentioned earlier the Diamondbacks still don't have their rotation set for this weekend. The Cubs do. John Lackey Friday night, John Lester on Saturday, Jake Arrieta Sunday. We'll have Friday night's game right here on CSN. 1-1. Double play chance. Happ, Baez, Contreras, double play. That'll take us to the 7th. Cubs 1, Giants 1. League has taken the esports world by storm thanks to a passionate and vocal fan base. We explore the rise of the game and find out why Chicago is a big part of that growing community. Tonight at 6:30 right here on CSN. One tie. 7th inning from San Francisco.
Fans enjoying their garlic fries and cha-cha bowls.
Orlando's
one of those out there at Cepeda's.
Barbecue, yeah.
You got to be able to get chowder in a bread bowl here at the ballpark, I'm assuming. It's kind of a thing.
Never got the bread bowl.
It's a good concept.
You like it?
Yeah. You can even eat the dishes.
Well,
it's like the Candyman.
My thing is I like bread to be bread and a bowl to be a bowl.
You got to think outside the box. Or the bowl.
Can you have a bread bowl without a bowl around the bread? Would that be a prudent
thing to do? Or you actually set the bread bowl into another bowl.
Right.
You could do that if you'd like.
But what I'm saying is, do they give you a bread bowl with no bowl around the bread?
Correct.
That seems like it'd be really messy. I think the bowl union ought to
rise up.
Ought to speak up. Maybe they ought to try a loaf of bowl. Two can play at that game. Swing and a miss by Baez. Yes, that's 2 minutes you'll never get back.
Avi's been really good against left-handed pitching of late, but I think he's been pretty good all year, but lately really doing a lot of damage. Nothing for 3 here today. And of course, Baumgartner's not your average bear. He's one of the best in the business.
Schwarber 0 for 2. Someone's got to hit one in the Cove, right? To win this game, maybe?
Maybe get a little hanging breaking ball.
A couple of left-handed bats here, Schwarber and then Avila. See, now I'm hungry.
Mm-hmm.
There's food talk. And a slice of cheese.
Joy will hook you up on the airplane. You'll be good. That's the Mel Cooley look-alike.
It's a full day.
And now he's back. Atta baby.
Time to eat. Catch some ball.
Yeah, that's a good day at the yard right there. A little nap, a little pie, some hard ball. Well, the Brewers have been scuffling of late, so the Cubs have been able to maintain their position atop the division, a game and a half better than Milwaukee. The Cardinals and the Pirates, however, started to play better ball. The Cardinals 2.5 back, the closest they have been to first place since June 13th. Pittsburgh 3.5 back. They've won 5 of 6, 3 in a row.
Inside. 3-2.
A day game after a night game. It's a bite out of a lot of people.
Maybe Schwarber will make a loud noise here. Well, backhanded by Jones. A throw, though. They didn't really have a chance due to the angle of that throw, and Schwarber basically beat Bumgarner there anyway.
Yeah, and I think the play there is Jones go to the bag and let Panic charge and get this ground ball. You see Panic's out there in shallow right.
Absolutely.
But I think if Jones goes and covers the base, Panic's going to make the 4-3 put out. And with the shift on, that's a situation where the first baseman has to know where his second baseman is and what the better option is.
Might there have been a little panic in front of Panic?
Yeah, and Panic probably wasn't panicking, but Jones may have panicked in pursuit of that ball.
They're going E3. I'm not sure the throw would have gotten him.
No, I'm not sure either.
That was the issue. I think it was more a mental error than it was a physical one. And I got to give Kyle a hit, right?
Well, I'd have to look at it again, but yeah, I think he was probably going to beat that play.
Well, once it was fielded by Jones,
and you cannot give him an error because of the bad decision. That was clearly the worst part of that play.
One and one on Alex Avila. Foul tip. 1-2. I mentioned earlier Bumgarner has not had a lot of luck this year. Giants have won only 1 of his first 9 starts. And at the moment it would be another quality start. This would be 8 out of 10 for him on the season in terms of quality starts.
He's received 1 or none in 5 of his 9 starts.
He strikes out Avila, 2 down. And it will be John Jay to bat for Montgomery. John is 2 for 10 in the series. He's been terrific off the bench.
That is a smart hat that gentleman's wearing.
This will get Bumgarner out of the 7th. Stretch time here in San Francisco. Cubs 1, Giants 1. Not a lot of offense today. To this point, Brian Dunsing is the 3rd Cub pitcher to work. Hendricks, Montgomery, and now Brian Dunsing.
Boy, he has been very reliable. 47th time he has pitched. 2.28 ERA for the veteran left-hander now. Having a big strikeout year. He's fanned 53 while walking 10 and 47 in a third. He has rattled off 16 in a third consecutive scoreless appearances.
Second longest active streak behind only Brad Hand. He's at 24 innings. Kelby Tomlinson will bat for Bumgarner, who went 7 innings, gave up 1 run and a strike. You've talked about Dunsing's increased velocity this year. Brian in the spring was dealing with a back issue. He said once he got that sorted out, he feels like, you know, the bottom half maybe giving him a little bit more than in the past, but for the most part, when I asked him, you know, why are you throwing harder, he said, I don't really know. But I appreciate that he at least tried to come up with a reason.
Yeah. Well, I know they're using different technology this year, so on average, most guys are showing a little more velocity.
Yeah, I mentioned that to him, so that could speak to some of it, if not all of it. Oh, 2 on Tomlinson. Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
Tomlinson's been a pretty good pinch hitter in his career, but Dunsing makes quick work of him, finishes him off with a very sharp breaking pitch. Okay. Little by little, folks around the ballpark are starting to wake up.
I wonder if her name is Little Susie.
Or Dorothy.
Span bounces foul. Bryant about even with a bag in case Span wants to bunt. And the 0-1 misses low and outside.
Speaking of Span, there was a truck right outside the parking lot where we pull the bus in selling Spam today.
Yeah, what's
a
up with
food
that?
truck had you could buy sizzling Spam.
I'm going to stay away from food commentary. I don't think my earlier opinions were particularly popular regarding the bread bowl.
Spam in a bread bowl and you'd be all set.
Three and one.
And has struck out twice today. He's also taken a walk, stolen a base. Seen a lot of pitches.
Ground ball. Happ can't make the play. Probably a hit for Span. One out single here in the seventh.
Everything had to be just right, and obviously it was not. And leaves his feet to try to make the play. Can only get a piece of it. And a 1-out knock for Span. That's a steal back in the third, his 6th of the year.
They have credited Schwarber with a single in the top of the seventh. Originally called an error on Ryder Jones, but they got the call right. So Schwarber now 1 for 3. Pedro Strop tuning up. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Popped into right field, and it will drop. Span holding at second. About tripped around the bag. Not sure what kind of read he got on that blooper, but obviously not a good one.
This is really funky to see a pull bloop down the line like this. You rarely see this.
I think that was the proper read because it looked like Happ might be able to catch it. So
yeah, you're looking back over your shoulder. Sometimes it's hard to tell if somebody's going to be able to come racing in to make a play on that ball. It's typically the kind of pop up or little flare you see hit to the opposite field. You don't rarely see that on the pull side.
So the Cubs get a break in that Span was unable to get to third with 1 out. The batter is Parker.
Strop getting ready for Posey.
You never know. It's a 1-1 tie here in the seventh. Final score could be 8-6, but it sure feels like the next run is going to be a game winner. This almost has a soccer match feel to it, the way it's gone to this point.
Well, there you go. Wake up, get your pizza. Apparently that's the program.
Two on, 1 out. And the pitch. Swing and a miss.
Good start sweeping that breaking ball down and away. Young hitter. chance to make a real impact in the game. Likely going to be anxious. He's got a lot of swing and miss in his game to begin with. I mentioned earlier, though, when you look at his minor league numbers, he's a guy who's also been willing to accept his walks. But mindset changes a little bit in these situations.
A base hit, span around third. Here comes the throw by Schwarber. Safe. And the Giants have the lead. A seeing eye single through the left side.
Oh, man.
And it's 2-1.
Yeah, you talk about killing me softly. How about the hits in this inning? Span ground ball in the hole at second base. Jones hits that funky little blooper to the pull side, and now this one. Just a little nudge through the shortstop hole. Gets the job done.
So that breaks the scoreless streak of Brian Dunsing, and here comes Joe Madden. He wants Strop to face Posey. Giants lead this game 2-1 in the 7th, and we'll be right back. Weber sauces and seasonings call to the pen. Pedro Strop facing Buster Posey.
Unfortunate turn of events for Brian Dunsing. He made quality pitches here today, but now he's allowed one. He's on the wrong side of the decision right now. 2 men still on base, 1 in scoring position, and the Giants' best hitter in the box.
Sharply hit on the ground. They get 2. 5-4-3 to end the inning. But the Giants did get that run off Dunsing and lead 2-1. loan now at eclicklending.com. eClick is located right here in Chicagoland and rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. eClick Lending. Boom, your mortgage just happened. Hunter Strickland in a setup spot today, as his team has a 2-1 lead here in the 8th inning.
Strickland worked in the ball game last night through 18 pitches. Sam Dyson is the closer these days for the Giants. Strickland 95-96 with the heater last night, and his slider showed a willingness to challenge with that four-seamer over the heart of the plate.
He gave up an unearned run in the game last night. Got a hold. The pitch. It's fouled. 0-2. Anthony Rizzo is on deck for Almora. So Rizzo ahead of Chris Bryant. Usually it's the other way around, except for those couple of weeks when he was the leadoff man. So Hunter Strickland might face Bryce Harper this weekend. The big rematch, Giants and the Nationals. Boy, that was an ugly brawl here in San Francisco. In that fight, there was a nasty unintentional collision between Jeff Samardzija and Michael Morse, and Morse is still out with a concussion. 2-2 on Zobrist. Ground ball, base hit. Good start. Hefty home run time. It was Almora, who is now out of the ball game with a game tire in the 3rd off Madison Bumgarner. Nice hand from the Cub fans in attendance as Anthony Rizzo is announced.
Now Almora also singled in the 6th. He had a very nice day. 2 out of 3 with the home run. Shift now for Anthony. Sandoval, the only guy on the left side of the infield.
Fouled off for a strike.
For 1 as a pinch hitter this year for Riz. Obviously doesn't get many opportunities. He plays every day pretty much.
Just able to get out of the way. I count 4 missed starts for Anthony Rizzo this season, and all pretty spread out. May 10th, June 24th, July 30th, and today, August 9th. Joe normally has these off days adjacent to a scheduled off day. So you get basically 2 days off.
Yeah, and it made perfect sense here in this situation with the tough lefty Bumgarner starting and the early start after a night game.
Tying run is on, nobody out. Rizzo pinch hitting. Shortening up as Strickland will fire over Zobrist, who's barely off the base. Swing and a miss on a fastball to get Rizzo.
Two-seamer with a lot of run off the outside corner. Anthony looking to do damage. You could tell by just the nature of that swing. He's looking to get something he could hit into the cove or at least pull with authority.
The pitch to Bryant is lifted foul, out of play.
Bryant singled off Strickland in the 8th inning last night.
Ground ball foul.
Giants got 7 from Bumgarner here today. They got 7 from Ty Block last evening.
Strickland's 0-2 is high. 1-2. Giants lead on Jarrett Parker's RBI single in the bottom of the 7th. Cubs have a man on, 1 out here in the 8th. Two, and the count holding. Are you ready for the temperature to increase by about 48 to 50 degrees this weekend?
Can be 100 plus, isn't it?
I saw a high of like 110 in Phoenix. Right now on my app it says it's 111 in the valley. Three and two.
It's getting a little hot for Strickland right now. The last couple of sliders have hung on the inside part of the plate for him, not by design. He got away with the previous one. That one stayed off the plate inside and throws that out over the plate a little bit. It's likely to be hit a long way. Posey wanted to stay away from the slider there, trying to get him to throw a two-seamer in, but see what they ultimately decide on here.
Zobrist not running, and it's still 3 and 2.
Yeah, I think with Strickland's swing and miss stuff, the fact that Bryant doesn't hit it on the ground that much, more of a fly ball type hitter. Posey throws well, all those things probably why Zobrist wasn't moving there.
Good battle between Strickland and Bryant. 8 pitches and counting. 5 of the 8 pitches have been fouled off. In the air to right. Pence is on the warning track. He one-hands it. 2 outs. It's only 309 right at the pole in right. But it's a good poke to get it out. And, well, I don't know how many right-handed batters have homered over the high wall in right, but it's not a lot. I mean, when you sit here and look at the configuration of this park, it looks like that'd be the easy place to hit home runs, but it's not.
Contreras gave it a pretty good ride in that direction last time he was up.
The 1-0. Bounce to third, charged by Sandoval, off balance throw, and Contreras is hurt. Wilson Contreras,
hamstring.
Looks like he's pulled something in the back of that right leg. That is not good to see. Man, oh man. Grabbed him about halfway down the line. Yep. 2-1 Giants. Wilson Contreras appeared to injure his right leg, needed a hamstring, and walked with some help very slowly off the field. He has been the Cubs' best player here in the second half.
He's been one of the best in all of baseball for the better part of 6 weeks now, and it's got DL time written all over it. We'll hope not. Hope for the best, but it did not look good, and boy, that's why the trade for a veteran like Avila is so important, and just in case Wilson went down, to have a veteran backup who can step in and play every day for you.
You see the changes defensively. Boy, you make a great point about having Alex Avila here. So it's Pablo Sandoval to lead off the Giants' 8th. 2-1. Strop got the double play ball off the bat of Posey to get out of the 7th. Cut and a miss. 0-2.
Might be time to throw him about a 55-foot slider and see if he'll swing at that.
Swing and a miss on a pitch that ended up very much in the zone, but it was the action that got him. He was out in front, wasn't he?
Yeah, out in front, over the top, slide ball.
It might have been a split. 88 miles an hour. Had some funky action on it. Pence deep to right. There you go. Of course. One of the rare right-handed home runs to right, and it's 3-1.
He's been going that direction all day today. Lined out, single to right earlier, and now he goes deep. A little insurance for the Giants in the bottom half of the 8th. Hunter Pence, first pitch swinging fastball, actually moving in towards him a little bit. He and Sandoval back to back in that batting order. Both guys very aggressive. Pence hits his 10th home run of the year.
It's only their 92nd home run. They have by far the fewest in all of baseball. So a big insurance run here in the 8th inning.
Been lacking for the Giants this year. They've homered in each game of this series.
Grounded foul back of the plate. See the fan there who was taking a little nap earlier, and she is now re-energized. So Dunsing and Strop giving up runs today. 1-2 the count. Two guys who have been absolutely terrific here lately.
Yeah, and Dunsing, you know, there's some bad luck. The hits, soft contact led to the run for the Giants against Dunsing. But the Cubs bullpen gave up a couple in the ball game last night.
Hit pretty well. Happ, though, will run it down. Two Giants retired. That'll bring up Joe Panik. Strop will run it over unassisted. And we will head to the ninth. Last chance for the Cubs. Now trailing 3-1. Denny's Beverage Depot, Madison Bumgarner. It's a tough year, missing about 3 months on the DL after the dirt bike accident. Not a lot of luck, but he's shooting for his second win. Denny's Beverage Depot is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs. He went 7, gave up 1. Strickland with a scoreless 8th, and now Sam Dyson, who got the save last night.
Dyson, you look at his numbers that he has compiled both with the Rangers and the Giants, and the ugly stuff all came with the Rangers. Since joining the Giants, he's been quite good.
Facing Ian Happ.
Got the save last night. Only 12 pitches needed to get it done.
One pitch to get the first out as Happ flies out to center. Here comes Baez.
With the Giants, Dyson has picked up 7 saves. He's failed on only 1 occasion. There's a 2.31 ERA with San Francisco. Had a 10.80 with the Rangers before they let him go.
One ball, no strikes on Baez. Hitless and 3 trips. One on the way. Dyson off the mound. Slings it to first. It'll be up to Schwarber to keep the Cubs alive.
Well, you knew it'd be a tough assignment with Bumgarner going here today. That's what makes last night's loss sting a little bit more. You like the pitching matchup with Quintana versus Block, although to give Block his due, he's been throwing the ball well for the Giants this year. First inning ambush by Posey of Quintana last night, really the significant blow in this series.
And the biggest blow might have been the Wilson Contreras injury. And again, we have no idea of the severity of it, and the Cubs may not know immediately after the game, but it did not look good as he had to leave in the 8th inning.
Yeah, it looked like high hamstring, and yeah, you hope strain and not the complete pull or tear.
Strike called, 1-1 to Schwarber. He didn't like the call. Pitchcast was lukewarm on it. Although it is just touching that upper right corner. 1-1. Now 1-2. Dyson trying to get it done here in the 9th with no drama. He's only made 7 pitches, and he's a strike away from a Giants series victory. Two pitch. It's full, 3-2.
Cubs' best chance to put an inning together probably way back in the first. Single Zobrist, and then after Almora popped up, Bryant singled, so they had first and second with just 1 out, but Bumgarner able to punch out Contreras and Happ to finish off that inning.
Alex Avila's on deck, representing the tying run. Schwarber trying to get him an at bat here. Going up with some heat. Schwarber bounces to first. Jones has it. And California was particularly unfriendly to the Chicago Cubs here in 2017. Cubs losing 8 of 9 games in the state against the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Giants.
And just not able to generate any offense today against Madison Bumgarner, and the Giants bullpen does the job for the 2nd day in a row. And yeah, as you mentioned, the bigger concern, the bigger story, the health of Wilson Contreras.
Time for an off day. Join us on Friday as the Cubs get back at it. 8 o'clock Central Time on CSN for a pregame coverage. Cubs and the Diamondbacks in Game 1. For JD, for our entire crew here in San Francisco, Len Casper with your final score. Giants 3, Cubs 1. Stay tuned. Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live is next.